Los Angeles, California, with Mad Scientist Party Hour.
Hello there, friends, and welcome back to another episode of Mad Scientist Party Hour. My name is Kevin Kraft, joined once again by a man who has rolled up and smoked his pants and underwear and is currently in the process of rage-jacking his boner off. That's Jeff Clark.
What's up? Good to see you guys.
And broadcasting from the dumpster of a Wawa, the bearded booger hoagie eating bastard known as Shuddy Boy.
Yo, brah, brah.
Really fucking painted myself in the corner with a tongue twister on that one.
Yeah, you did.
Can't even blame it on the weed.
Are you still no marijuana?
Yeah. It's almost like, let's see. Tomorrow, it'll be 5 weeks. I don't know how that's the case.
Did you not smoke on Christmas?
No, I last smoked on New Year's Eve. But like, there are 5 Wednesdays in January.
Right, it's the start of your fifth week. You finished 4 weeks.
Yeah.
It's the start of your 5th week.
Yeah, the calendar
How
confused my
long
feeble
are you
brain.
going to have this nonsense going on?
I don't know. Initially, the plan was just for January, just taking the month off. But I always thought that I mostly just smoke around like 10 or 11 at night, and then it just like helps me fall asleep. But I think I'm so old now that I don't even need weed to fall asleep. I just need my head to make contact with the pillow, and then I'm just fucking out like a light. The only thing
So now you can do it for fun.
Well, I can't because I'm just a giant ball of anxiety and I have fucking panic attacks all the time. And
I think you
super
need
lazy.
to pay more attention to the type of weed you're buying.
It doesn't matter. If there's fucking
I think
THC, if there's THC in it, sativa, indica, hybrid, it all does the same fucking thing to me.
It depends on the terpenes, not on
Oh, God.
the type of strain it is. So,
No, I'm not about to turn myself into a weed scientist.
you don't have to turn yourself into a weed scientist. You just have to figure out which ones cause the anxiety, which it's pretty easy to do because if you look at an explanation of terpenes, it tells you the effects and just avoid that one, which is what I do. So I can smoke a sativa now and then that if it...
What is the bad terpene?
the one that hold on.
Jesus Christ, it was hard enough to keep track of weed before, and now there's like... It's like indica, sativa, hybrid. Oh, but here comes good old terpene and slurpene and florpene and bingle-blongs. How many bingle-blongs does this torpene have in it?
It is the... I stick with ones that have limonene or myrcene in them.
Limonene and myrcene?
Yes.
Well, what's the one that you're avoiding that makes you panicky?
The beta pinene.
Terpene.
And even though
terpentine.
it says the beta caryophyllene is one that I generally stay away from.
Oh my God. I feel like I need a fucking degree
But
to go to the dispensary.
I don't know how it is. I just...
And Shuddy quit the show again. He's gone.
Yep, I quit the show. Like the label that's on the jar of weed has the percentage of each terpene in it.
Man, that's going to extend my conversations with bud tenders way past what I'm comfortable with. I usually just go in there and be like, what would you sell to a narc? All right, that's the one I need.
This also is listed when I order them, so that's how I know
Hmm.
what to stay away from.
Well, the one thing that I think the weed is helping me out with, like, I've been able to control a lot of my snacking, and my diet is really fucking boring right now. It is terrible. It's like I'm living in black and white. It's almost as if life has no meaning. It's just salads and oatmeals and fucking yogurts and I do. It is making a little bit of a difference. I feel like I've gone down a cup size. I mean, you could still produce a penis and titty fuck me, I believe, but it'll be harder.
If you really were serious, you'd cut out the overnight oats.
Yeah, whatever. Everybody's got their
What's wrong with
Get rid
overnight
of-
oats?
Carbohydrates, buddy. You might as well be eating sugar.
Yeah, but carbs are good if you're running, right?
I was told the less carbs, the better. So when I was really training for my fight, I was on no carbs whatsoever.
Yeah, but then I feel like that's one of the, I kind of did the same thing when I was when I got down to like 155. I just ate like literally nothing but like leaves and grilled chicken. And then the weight came back on in the blink of a fucking eye. But then again, everything is so convoluted now. Like the health and wellness market, I suppose you could call it, is so oversaturated. You got that fucking homeless looking guy that looks like he's made out of porn star dicks who just like, only thing you can eat is bear liver. And if you eat anything other than raw bear liver, you might as well be blowing a dude.
Is he the Tiger King?
Something
No.
like that.
No, that's
Lizard
different.
King? No. Liver King?
Liver
That
King,
could
I
be
think,
it.
is what he calls himself.
Yeah. You only eat raw fucking intestinal organs. And then like and if you do that, anything else you're doing wrong. It's wrong. And then you got like, oh yeah, overnight oats. They're healthy. You should eat them. And then it's like, oh, if you eat any sort of fruit, you might as well be eating fucking deep fried Twinkies. It's just like, all right, how about if I just...
Well, that's only if you're going keto. Fruit is really bad if you're on a keto diet.
Yeah, all this stuff is just like, you know what? I'm going to fucking eat less candy and less like fried stuff. And I don't think it's going to bust my belt eating fucking oatmeal every now and then. But, I mean, who fucking knows? All of a sudden, everybody's a goddamn expert on everything.
I think I'm just doomed to obesity. I'm just going to be fat my entire life.
I mean,
I don't know. That video that Bugnish shared last week, you were pretty fucking skinny back then, Geoff.
I know. But I was also pretty poor and just had a different lifestyle that I could keep up with more. I don't know. Like I work out 3 or 4 times a week still, but I just don't have the diet to match it. And like everything, like every piece of shit that I eat, excuse me, every bad thing that I eat just sticks to me.
You eat pieces of shit for breakfast?
That's exactly what I thought of too. No.
I've been getting up. I run like 4 or 5 times a week now, and boy, do I fucking hate it. I still fucking hate it. But like I've figured out the trick. If I wake up and like obviously the first thing I have to do is walk Lucy, and then I get back with her.
Lucy doesn't run with you?
No way. That little fucking furry sausage with those twinkling little fucking toothpick legs. No, she's not going to go out
Get
and run
her
with me.
a stroller.
I am not doing that. But like I
Get
walk
one of
her.
those papooses.
I'm not pooping her. But I
Kangaroo pouch.
I walk her, I take her back, I stretch, and then I go for a run, and then I make like some coffee and breakfast. It used to be I would wake up, I would have some coffee and breakfast, wait a little bit, and then go for a run like a couple hours later. And that is, I cannot do that. I think what I've learned that from when I got throat goated by the doctor, I have the source of my nuclear heartburn is a flappy valve. It's like super flappy and doesn't close to keep the acids down. So if I have anything in my stomach, I will be like belching and like verping the entire run. So the only time I can actually get a run in is before I've consumed anything other than water for the day. But it actually does feel like something's happening. I didn't weigh myself because I don't really give two shits much about my weight. I just visually, that's all I care about. I know what I want to look like, so I don't care what the scale says. I want my titties to go down. I want my side titties and my front like hang over the belt titties. Like I want all those gone. I don't really have a goal weight. I just want to be made out of less titties. So I will say I do think the cutting out the weed is helping a little bit with that because I'm not as groggy when I wake up in the morning. I get the munchies like a motherfucker. There is no satiating my appetite. What do you mean?
I think he means when he smokes, not so he's not getting them now.
I say. I thought you meant you like still are battling the munchies. That's
No.
how to have chilled, right?
Yeah, big time. So I don't know. It might just be like weed might just be like an occasional fun thing now, rather than a daily routine.
Rather than a habitual thing.
Yeah, because it does make it a hell of a lot easier to try and be a little healthier. You know, now that I'm in my 40s, I've seen what happens when you start mailing it in with your 40s, and I cannot afford to look much worse than I already do.
Yeah.
I will say,
hear
though,
you.
that our OnlyFans feat conversation from last week seemed like a hit. Seemed like we might even have an audience for that.
Oh, yeah? I gotta go get a patty?
Yeah.
Fire up the old account? See if I'll email OnlyFans and see if I can be a content creator since I wasn't since they wouldn't allow me to be a customer.
I promise I won't DM myself and tell me to smile more. But then again, we could just start a new Patreon tier. Because it's not nudity. It's just feet. You don't have to censor that. Oh my God. And that actually popped an RBQ in my head. So
Oh, Jesus.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for today's random brain question.
God.
And don't worry,
What do you
Shuddy,
got,
because
buddy?
this isn't focused on you or us or anything, so you don't have to get all fucking bitchy again. But my question is, and really think about this one, is a grundle nudity? So, like,
Yes.
let's just say if I was wearing biking shorts and I cut a rectangle out of them
Yes.
and I had shaved, so there's no pubic hair, it's just a bald patch of skin. And let's say I was on like Regis and Kathy Lee. What the fuck? A show that doesn't even exist anymore. One of the Humans doesn't even exist anymore. Hold on, what's that show? Is it Michael and Kelly? Ryan Seacrest?
It's Kelly and Ryan. I think she's first.
Yeah. Doodad and Ryan Seacrest. And I'm wearing those shorts, and I get so excited I just do like a backward somersault. Would they have to blur it, and would they get an FCC fine? Because there's no scrot, there's no butthole areola. It's just a sheen, hairless grundle.
I think because of where it is on the body, smack dab in between two things you can't show, with little room for error, that it would be considered nudity. That would be...
Like if I was performing at the Super Bowl halftime show with Justin Timberlake, and I did like a karate kick, and one of his backup dancers caught my heel, and he like he did to Janet Jackson, ripped a patch off of the grundle of my pants, are we looking at an FCC fine?
I think unless you have a large grundle, which I believe we've established is only a 2 or 3 finger grundle, right?
I'd say I have a substantial grundle.
You really like you have a whole hand grundle?
Like 4 fingers across?
Yeah. No, 4 fingers top to bottom.
Oh, this way. Maybe shave a knuckle off.
So 3 fingers.
No. From the top, like this. Wait a second, that doesn't look right. Now I have a grundle chode. It's probably easier if I just show you guys.
Yeah, this is where if YouTube flags this, we'll know grundles are nudity.
Because okay, let's go back to that.
It's the perfect test, actually.
Been a while since we've done any kind of experiment.
Yeah, let's really gamble. I mean, let's go back to the Super Bowl example then. I feel like when Janet Jackson's titty plopped out, they just go right to the FCC rulebook and they're like, "There's no female nipples on TV, so therefore you are fined." And if I fucking whip my cock out, I'm pretty sure there's an article in the FCC handbook that is like, "Homeboy just whipped his cock out on live TV. Bam, you get a fine." But
so you think this is a situation where somebody's like, "Shit, it's not in the rule book."
Guys, I don't see it in the rule book. Are you checking G for grundle? Yes! All right, well, check T for taint. I don't see it there either. What's the science term? I believe it's perineum. Look under P. Like, I feel like they might put that in the rule books afterwards, but
if it's not there after that happened, it most definitely would be. Yes.
I don't know. We got to find a way to get on live TV and test this. Because I mean, you saw it when I pierced my grundle, Shuddy.
Yes.
And I fashioned kind of like the same thing. I put on boxer briefs and I cut a square out and went and got in the chair and got my grundle pierced. And that ended up in one of the videos. But then again, we didn't have any censors to worry about.
Yeah, it also was the intro to one of the videos.
That's
it was
true.
The very first thing you saw in, was it Slow Children 666?
No, that was the one that was the parody one, not made by me.
That was the
got me in
parody
trouble.
one. You're right. Was it 420 or was it Slow Children 3?
It was 5.
5.
Yeah. Funny enough, I think most of my family even saw that video, so they have all seen my then pierced grundle. All right. Well, another mystery thrown out to the ether. I went to I know you guys have called me weird in the past for going to movies by myself, but I went to a concert by myself over the weekend. Have you guys ever done that?
You do that more often than movies.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the percentages, I've probably gone to a majority of concerts by myself. Because I don't know anybody that likes metal, so I always have to go alone. But is that weirder than going to a movie by yourself? Probably, right?
I kind of think so.
Because there's more downtime when you're sitting through bands. Like when one.
I mean, you're not supposed to socialize with anyone during a movie. You're just watching a movie.
Yeah.
You can socialize a little bit at a concert, during a concert.
Yeah, what do you do in between bands when you're at a concert by yourself?
I just sit there looking like a fucking friendless dork.
You play Pokemon Go, don't you?
I have a couple times.
Yeah, I bet you.
And now they've nuked Simpsons Tapped Out. That's history.
Which,
What happened?
They ended it. It didn't get banned by the government or anything.
It's an article in the TikTok ban bill.
Kevin doesn't have the opportunity to buy a $50,000 iPhone to get access to Simpsons Tapped Out.
No, the creators were just like how much more stuff can we make? Like, did you see our last update? Nobody even knows who those characters are that we introduced in the game. We have been scraping the bottom of the barrel for years. Like, it's time to let this die. And I kind of thought, like, I knew that game wouldn't exist for, like, 100 years or anything, but I kind of figured they would let your town still exist that you created, and they fucking nuked them all.
EA decided they wanted the server space.
Yep. But yeah, it does kind of suck, but it's like, okay, there are so many bands that I love, and I want to see them all live, and like metal shows, I'm very rarely disappointed by a live act. They're all so fucking good. And it's just like, all right, well, my only options is to never see any bands that I want to see or go by myself. And sometimes I follow all these bands on Instagram and they're touring and they're coming to LA and I want to see them all. And it's just like, fuck, this really fucking sucks. And I do feel weird, like being the one guy who's clearly there by himself with no friends.
So then what you do...
Try to make friends.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Make friends at a concert because they're likely going to want to go to the next one you want to go to if they're at that concert.
Hey, Carl, I met some cool dude at the concert.
He's coming over for dinner tonight.
I got to walk over to like a group of strangers and be like, hey guys, can I be your friend? Then 42-year-old with a fucking side part, they're like, okay, this guy is 100% wearing a wire.
I am not a professional at making new friends as an adult, so don't take this with a grain of salt. I don't think that's the way that you go about it. I think you just like, do you buy a drink at the bar while you're at a concert? Like, do you drink beers?
Usually.
So you just strike up a conversation with the dude next to you at the bar and see where it goes naturally. And then if you guys hang out at the show and be like, hey, we should do this again. Let me get your Snapchat.
Get your Snapchat?
Snapchat was a joke. Snapchat was a joke. That part was a joke. But, like if you hang out with them the whole time, then you'd be like, hey, let's exchange numbers and go to another show.
I feel like that coming from me, they're going to be like, this guy is like an undercover Fed, and he's trying to bust somebody.
Like if you exchange like 4 sentences with them and be like, I want your phone number to hang out with you again. That's weird. But if you hang out for a couple of hours and chill at the concert and things go well, then I think it's safe to ask. Or go on Facebook groups and start finding friends that way. Oh, who else is going to this concert? Oh, let's meet up.
Man, all those ideas sound horrible.
They all sound worse than looking like the kid toucher there by himself.
Wait, why am I touching kids? There's no kids at metal shows.
Let's hope not if you're there, Bears,
Yeah. I
How
actually
do you not have one friend that likes the same music as you?
I don't know. Because everybody
I don't know.
Everybody listens to horrible fucking music. I don't know.
I got you. It's everyone else's problem. No, I'm with you.
Everybody thinks Drake is cool.
No.
Not even.
No.
You don't listen to Kendrick, do you?
Me?
Yeah.
I like Kendrick. See, I do like everything. There's like,
you're such a Kendrick stan. Rank his albums best to worst.
I never said I was a fucking stan. But like, I feel like I truly like everything except, I guess if I'm putting a caveat on that, I guess I really don't. But I've yet to find country music that I like. But everybody else who's like, oh yeah, I listen to everything. It's like, oh, what about metal? I'm like, except metal.
Right. Yeah.
But I don't know. I actually did see Brian Posehn there.
Did you say anything to him?
I was like, oh God, I'm by my fucking self. I'm like,
Jesus Christ, he was in your
So you don't even go up and talk to somebody you do know.
Well, I mean, do you guys remember the story about how I saw Jay Chandrasekhar in public? And he had like just done the Ella show a couple days before?
Yeah, but I don't know.
That motherfucker is on your poster.
Yeah,
I know.
He's in your movie.
Well, here's the thing. It happened without me even knowing it when I saw like Jay on the street, and I was like, "Hey, Jay, what's up, man? Kevin from the Ellis Show." He's like, "Hey, what's up, dude?" I was like, "Hey, okay, bye," and just like and power walked away. I don't know how to make small talk with people. I don't have any follow-ups. I can just be like, "Hey, you and I have crossed paths before," and then it just hangs there in the air, and it's like, "Okay, I really wish I didn't say this. Bye."
Yeah, but you're at a concert, so then you say, hey, and whatever band just finished or is on, you're like, what do you think of these guys?
Well, here's a little twist in the story. I had 2 giant beers at that point, so there was a little bit of liquid courage in me, and I was like, you know what? I'm always seeing people that I've interacted with out in public, and I never fucking say anything, and everybody always thinks I'm weird for it. So you know what? I'm gonna say something. So he was looking at the merch, and when he was walking back towards like the main floor and walked by me, I was like, "Hey, Brian, what's up, man? Kevin, I directed Second Coming of John Cooper." And he was like, "Hey, what's up, man?" And then just kept going. Like,
so you actually did say something to him.
Yeah, why would you paint it that you didn't say anything?
Because you didn't want to make Brian Posehn look like a douchebag, which he kind of does.
I think he probably just. I mean. He was on set, quote unquote set, my old apartment for like
he was in your apartment
for like an hour and a half, like over a year ago, and the movie still hasn't sold. It's not the big deal to him as it is to me. So when I said I directed Second Coming of John Cooper, he probably was like, "Oh, this is some guy who like is trying to be like I directed a movie. Hi." And it probably didn't even click that he was in it. That's my guess.
That is very, very generous towards him.
And I like that you say this to him as he's walking past you instead of like approaching him when he's not on his way to do something.
Was he by himself?
Yes.
So maybe he's doing the same loser shit that you're doing. You guys could have went to.
Well, no, I saw
future concert.
Well, I saw
if Kevin was.
I did see on Instagram the next day that he had backstage passes because, of course, he's fucking Brian Posehn. Of course he did. So he probably just walked straight backstage, and I'm not cool, so I don't have backstage passes to anything anymore.
Yeah, we got to help you with your small talk.
I know. Thank God I'm not single.
We need to get that guy back on. Remember back in the day, that guy we had that was supposedly really good at making guys into players?
Oh, yeah. I do remember that.
Just get him on and have him teach you how to do that, but to make male friends.
Yeah. How do I talk to dudes? Wait a second. That came out wrong.
Was it Jordan Harbinger or something?
Something like that.
I think you're right, yeah.
He's probably got a foot only fans going on. That's a full circle. I'm wooing bitches with my feet. Man, yeah, you missed an opportunity to rub shoulders with someone in the comedy biz. I mean, you know him. He was in your apartment. You're going to the same concert. It feels like pretty easy to make a conversation. You had
and don't you know him from
favor when you started talking to Carl and you moved in with her.
Well, we were kind of locked in. It's kind of hard to not make small talk when it's just 2 people sitting at a 2-top at a restaurant.
Let's see what Uncle Google says about how to make friends as an adult.
Dude, I can't Google how do you make friends when I'm 42.
I'm doing it.
Yeah, but you're doing it on my behalf. That still counts. Like, if
according
you
to
jack
Dr.
my dick
Marissa
off
G.
to porn.
I've done some searches on Shuddy's behalf already today, so.
All right, so according to Dr. Marissa G. Franco, the number one way to make friends as an adult is to assume people like you right out of the gate.
Oh. Okay, well
Number two,
that's where I went wrong because I always assume everybody hates me as much as I hate myself.
Literally, Kevin assumes the opposite. Actually,
and then number two is don't wait for friendships to happen organically. So that means force them to happen, right? Like,
Yeah, I'm just gonna go up behind somebody who has like a cool leather jacket and grab by the shoulder and be like, "You're my fucking friend now.
Yep, we're friends, and you like me.
I'm buying you a fucking beer. You're gonna drink it, and it's totally heterosexual."
Number five is keep showing up. So force them to be your friend, and then stalk them until they're your friend.
I don't like. I don't
so
like.
what's up with that? Where are you sitting, Brian? Oh, I'm actually got backstage passes. Oh, cool. Let's go, dude.
Sneak me in under your shirt.
Roll with them.
Number six, generate exclusivity. So make sure that they know how exclusive of a thing it is for them to be your friend, because you don't have many.
Shuddy,
Yeah.
I think this list is going to get me a restraining order.
I know. And then number seven is show people
Hey,
how
you're my
much you
only
like
friend.
them. This one doctor is telling people how to stalk people.
Yeah, step 5, watch them when they sleep.
Step 6, go to their earliest Instagram post and like it, and then scroll up and continue to like them.
Wait until 4 o'clock in the morning and like their first Instagram post. That way it'll stand out.
Yeah.
And it shows
Hey,
you care.
This guy is taking a keen interest in me.
When they're at work, break into their house, take their comb and make a hair doll, and then present them with it the next day.
So I found another list that is a little bit more helpful on headspace.com. It says,
That's disappointing.
number 1, make space in your head and heart.
Well, my head's fucking empty, so step 1 complete.
You got this from headspace.com?
Yeah.
Little
Look
on
for
the nose.
interests,
Yeah.
not individuals.
Is this a porn site?
So this would be making concerts.
I
Number
mean,
3.
you were there, dude. You had a whole arena, a room full of people with common interests you could have talked to. You were there. It'd be like if I was friends with no one I played basketball with on Wednesday. Just no one.
Number 4 is a term Geoff can understand. Hedge your bets.
That's right.
Oh,
Which
so
I
like
mean-
take a look at the person and be like, if this person's out of my friend league, don't waste time.
I wouldn't even say that as much as it means just throw a net over cast a wide net and just talk to everyone. And
Everyone.
yeah, eventually someone is going to be receptive. So just shoot every shot is basically what it's saying. And then number 5 is say yes and mean it.
Yeah. Okay. This went from me being a stalker to me bending over and presenting my bungus.
Say yes and mean it. That's got you into trouble over the years. Let's be honest.
I am ready and willing.
You've probably said yes to too many things in your path.
I'm just going to, in between bands, I'm going to go stand where the mosh pit usually is and throw my arms out like I'm fucking Julie Andrews in Sound of Music and spin in circles and be like, who wants to be my friend? I say yes. I submit to all of you.
Oh, cool. I didn't mean the mosh pit. Just your house on the gaming.
Wow, I think big government is censoring you, Geoff.
Geoff, I know exactly how you feel, but it is so fun to be on the other end of that finally.
Usually it's just Gardner issues. I don't know what's going on with the internet. It's bumming me out.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening either, but god damn it, that was funny.
Oh.
Well, on a different note, Geoff, how's little mama doing after her fucking toenail got ripped out?
She's good. She's just over there taking a nap on the bed right now. She's pretty much
Is she out of the cone?
She is out of the cone. We put the cone on her a few days after they said wasn't even necessary because she just like kept licking at her paw and it like freaked me out. Um, but I think she's fine. I think she's good to go now. The nail isn't. There's still no nail there, and it's still kind of gross. But
Yeah, I wonder how
she'll
long
be-
it takes for that to grow back.
I actually, I don't, I think MJ's has grown back now. That happened over the summer, but it took a minute. It took a minute for it to start coming back.
Yeah, it's like 6 months, right?
Yeah.
How's
Yeah.
your cat situation doing, Shuddy? Are you still enjoying the life of a cat dad?
I mean, there's not much of a cat dad life going on. The cat stays under the bed. If she's out from under the bed when I step into the room, she retreats under the bed. So it's just a very one-sided relationship where I just clean up her shit and bring her food, and that's all I get out of the relationship.
Damn. I mean,
But
are you ever going to try and like are you just letting her sort of settle in still and then at some point get like a little more maybe Google how to be friends with a cat.
I'm not going to get more aggressive. From everything I've been told, that I've just got to keep up the same routine, and eventually she should, but it could take months.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Have you tried getting on like all fours and entering the room like ass first?
No.
Seeing if that
but
helps?
No.
Show submission? You're the boss, Uncle Ben. Here's my butthole.
No. I don't think that would work anyway. They're not like dogs.
Oh yeah, I guess. What if you like got on your back and like like showed your belly and you kind of like scooted in with like your paws up like this? Do you think a cat would be like, all right, I'm less intimidated now. Let's see what this guy's up to.
Listen, if weeks of letting her watch me pour her food into the dish doesn't get her to understand that I'm not a threat and her provider, I don't really know what will right out of the gate.
What if you went under the bed with her and let her just beat the shit out of you and you don't like put up any sort of defense, you don't fight back, you let her win. And then she's like, all right, I can dominate this guy. I'm no longer threatened. No?
That's not an option. I'm not going to get shredded by a cat for the fun of it. If the options are let her shred me or just live the rest of her life where I just bring her food and scoop the litter box, I'm going with that route.
All right, fair enough.
She's not inconveniencing me at all. Like, it's really
give me another excuse to have that nickname Shreddy Boy.
true, but I don't want that to be the reason. I'm not.
Is there a chance you just ditch it? Like you just leave the door open?
Well, if I left the door open, the dogs would go in there, and I am 100% confident that before they could do any damage to her, she would do damage to them, and that would be a very costly mistake.
What if you left the window open and a ladder going down to the ground floor?
I wouldn't even need to do that because right outside the window she's in is the roof to the living room,
Yeah.
that comes off the house, and then that goes down to the fence, which then goes like if she climbed out that window, she could be outside and on the ground with no issues quite rapidly. The
Just
turtle
using like
doves
some entry level cat parkour.
Yeah, I mean, very entry level. Very entry level. She could probably even get back into the house that way. That's how entry level it is.
Oh dang.
But that is not something I'm looking to do. My aunt is very happy and calls me every 2 days.
Oh no.
It's just it's actually It's not bad. My mother has already tried to make me feel guilty because I let my aunt call me every other day, and I won't talk to my mother more than once a week. Um, but that's because my aunt, the phone calls with my aunt literally last a minute and a half. She asks me how the cat's doing. She asks me how Draven and myself are doing. She asks me how the dogs are doing.
Cat comes first for sure.
Um, and then she tells me a little bit about her day. And then she's like, okay, I'm going to watch TV. Bye. Okay. And I was like, Mom, if you could keep our conversations to a minute and a half, 2 minutes, you could call me every other day also.
All right. What about the name? Because I know Draven put up some resistance to Uncle Ben. Have you settled on a different name?
No, because she's, she's out of sight, out of mind. There's no need to push the name thing when
So she's Uncle
she
Ben.
doesn't even leave under the bed. Like,
So she is
cats don't,
officially Uncle Ben?
as far as I'm concerned.
Well, it's your cat. That sounds official to me.
Take that for what it's worth.
By the way, I want to shout out Geoff, your lady. And then I did see somebody else chime in. I'm sorry, it was a while ago, so I forget. But someone, I believe, commented on Patreon when we had Alex Wilson on, and I fucking turned as red as a lobster and got all hot and bothered, for lack of a better word. You passed the word on to me, Geoff, that she suggested that it could be niacin flush. So I Googled it, and it sounded very similar to what I went through. It was very weird because as someone who like breaks out in hives, if I don't take Zyrtec every day, I know what it's like to be covered in fucking itchy hives. But this was just itchy without the need to scratch it, and just like I felt like my skin was fucking 200 degrees. I turned bright red, and it felt like very irritated, like I had insulation all over me. And it would last for like 40 minutes. And the only time the first time it happened was back east in Jersey, and I thought, I mean, how dare I? But I thought it was something that I ate at Wawa, on the way to Central Jersey, and then it happened a couple days later. Then it happened 2 days in a row back here in LA, and I was just like, okay, something's fucked up here. Something. So I did a little bit of Googling with that tidbit of information about the niacin flush, and I Googled all the stuff I take. You know, the vitamin B, vitamin D, the CoQ10, and it said every single one of them can cause niacin flush.
Well, niacin is vitamin B12.
Yeah, so I don't know why I stopped, because I've been taking them all for a while, like well over a year now, and it's weird that it would just start happening now. But the first thing I cut out was the CoQ10, because I had a theory that it might be the heartburn pills, the omeprazole that I take every day. So I cut it out for like a week and a half, 2 weeks, and I never got that thing again. And I was like, you know what? All right, I'm going to not take the heartburn pills today, and I'm going to bring the fucking CoQ10 back in. And right 20 minutes after I took it, boom, fucking beet red, 1,000 degrees, felt like bugs were crawling all over me, and I was like, son of a bitch. It's the fucking CoQ10. So I've now identified the problem. It kind of sucks that I now have to eliminate that because it did get my cholesterol down for the first time in my adult life. But I just wanted to shout out to your lady, Geoff, and the Puminati that chimed in and helped diagnose me, being that I'm not rich and therefore do not deserve to see a doctor, apparently. But I'm also glad that I was able to solve it relatively quickly, because it could have...
Yeah. Didn't set you back financially.
Well, no, now I don't have to buy CoQ10 every month, so it's actually saving me money.
Putting you forward, it's putting you ahead financially.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Let's see. What else?
Yeah.
What else do we have here, huh? Oh, Shuddy. I did see somebody asked me, or someone publicly posted a question, and they were asking, like, why the hell, I never thought about it before, but why the hell is Shuddy Boy called Shuddy Boy? And we've 100% gone over this on the show before, but I know people jump in, people are new listeners, people don't know all of our backstories and stuff. So I thought it could be fun for any of our more recent Puminati who don't know the origin story. I mean, it's not like Shuddy Boy was like saved a bunch of villagers from a charging bull and then they're like, you are now known as Shuddy Boy.
No, but it was bestowed upon me.
Yeah.
So when Dom and I became friends, my sophomore year of high school, Dom's senior year, he had another friend named Rich that he was friends with earlier in high school. And they used to say shutty up instead of shut up, like SHUTTY.
Was there any backstory to that? Did somebody...
That part I don't remember because that didn't involve me. So
Okay.
that wasn't committed to memory banks. I'm sure Dom will fill in any gaps that I leave out as to the origin of that. But then Dom had said it in front of me once or something, and it became Shuddy, and then him and I made this whole, I don't want to say language, but we used it for everything. And it meant certain things in certain contexts. And then
Like, hand me that Shuddy? Or something?
I wish I even put together a definition sheet. Like
Oh my
when it's
God.
said in this context, it means this. Like it was a whole thing. But Dom and I were in the band in high school, and he was one of the section leaders. And part of the tradition in the week leading up to the game against the other high school in town was that they gave everybody in the section nicknames.
Okay.
And because in the 2 months leading up to that, I said Shuddy constantly, Dom nicknamed me Shuddy Boy, to which then I started naming everybody in our crew Shuddy names. Like Dom has a Shuddy name that he hasn't used in a million years.
He was Shuddy right?
Yep, absolutely. You do
Shuddy
remember.
Yeah.
Because he was technically the first, so I had to make sure that he had a name alphabetically before mine. But then I ran with it and made everybody call me that.
Do you remember
and
any
that's
of the
how
other Shuddy nicknames that were doled out? Because Shuddy Boy and Shuddy are the only ones that I remember.
our other friend Ryan, who was instrumental in the formation of it, was Shuddy Warlock.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yep. I remember Shuddy Warlock.
Fuck.
Jeff, what the fuck is going on here? This makes no fucking sense.
I mean, I'm kind of following along here.
Trying to remember. I think you were Shuddy Yoinkity at one point. Very briefly.
that was super brief in college. I think it was Shuddy Yoinker, but nobody fucking called me that.
Yeah.
Not yet.
That was at the tail end, and it really just hung on for me.
Yeah, yours was the only nickname that ever stuck for as long as I was in the friend group.
Correct. So that's the origin of it.
There you go. The origin of the Shuddy.
And then, actually, I had finally decided at one point that I had grown out of it and was on the verge of having it completely squashed here at home. And everybody was just calling me Rich. And then I started doing the podcast. and just it grabbed on again, and here we are.
But I feel like everybody in like Pennsylvania still calls you Rich. Like every now and then I hear somebody drop a Shuddy Boy, but even at Dom's wedding, it was mostly just like, "Hey, where's Rich?"
Yeah. So it's really just in this context that I go by it seriously.
And my family, who still calls you Shuddy Boy, including my grandma.
No, they've taken to calling me Rich since John Cooper.
Really?
When your mother sat me down and was like, "I know you've told me this before, but what's your real name? I'd really like to start calling you that."
Oh, I'm gonna have to check them on this.
She didn't do it on Christmas, but while we were out there for John Cooper, she would call me Rich, and I'd like it would take like 5 or 10 seconds for me to understand she was talking to me. Like,
Shuddy.
Like, oh, sorry, what? What were you
Shuddy.
asking me?
Maybe there was like another Rich in the room.
There's certain times I'm not used to hearing my name. Like, if my mother calls me Rich, I'm very confused. Because she's always called me Richard. Especially when I'm in trouble.
I thought you were going to say she always calls you Shuddy Boy.
No. Nope.
That would be hilarious.
Nope. At least Helen doesn't call me Dookie Boy the cocksucker, you know?
Yeah, that's only for Jeff.
Yeah, Helen's ruthless.
Well, I feel like I discovered this in the Easter egg, but all three of us went to the cinema since we last convened. And Shuddy, I know you said you were going to see the new Marky Mark movie in 4DX, which is something that I have never experienced, and I'm very curious to see how that went.
Did anybody else see the new Marky Mark movie?
I didn't. I kind of want to. It's a Mel Gibson movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's more why I want to see it. No offense to Marky Mark. Was it good?
You didn't see it, Kevin, or did you?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I've heard it's terrible.
I had so much fun.
Mel Gibson kicks ass.
He's not in it.
The movie
Doesn't matter.
was awful.
He made it.
The movie, when I say awful, I mean I enjoyed watching the film. Like, I would have even enjoyed it had I not been bouncing around like crazy.
You would have even enjoyed it had it been good.
Because I think it was so funny.
Intentionally or unintentionally?
I think unintentionally, which made it even more funny. Because Marky Mark played as unhinged of a character as he's played not since Fear. Like, he was over the top crazy.
Of that movie.
I wish he was
Topher
figuring me on
Grace's
that roller coaster.
character was basically Eric Foreman as an adult.
Okay.
Like, he was strictly comic relief. Like, he was just throwing out one-liners and zingers left and right.
Do you think Topher is short for Chris Topher or like Topherson?
It's Christopher, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. I've actually met a Topher.
Really?
Yeah, Christopher. Like,
interesting. Okay.
His character was basically Eric Foreman, and then the female U.S. Marshal was the straight character. She played it straight the entire time. So you've got these two guys just fucking going for it all between the jokes and the fucking unhingedness, and she is just fucking boring. So I spent so much time laughing my ass off.
Was the rest of the theater having a similar reaction?
Yes. Like, Mark had the same reaction. Like, it was...
Oh, you went with Mark Rooster?
Yes, Mark Rooster.
Okay.
And I had a lot of fun, but the movie was ridiculous. Like there's, obviously she has to fly the plane because they restrained Marky Mark. So they get an air traffic controller on the phone who is just relentlessly flirting with her.
Hey, is that you, sugar tits?
Relentlessly. And like tricks her into asking him out on a date. Like as he's trying to help her not kill them, he like words it so that she goes, "What, you want to go out to dinner with me?" And he goes, "Now that you've asked."
Oh,
Yes.
man.
Yeah, like it was like I went to Mark. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what? Who's the like? This is so fucking funny. It is ridiculous. It's a 2.5 dicker. It's not a very good movie, but I had such a good time. I was high as a kite. Like it was, it was fun.
All right, now I need to hear about the 4DX experience. So, my first question is, being that it's 4DX, do they have to include the 3D element? Like, were you wearing glasses, or did they skip that part?
No, they skipped the 3D element.
Okay.
But like there are parts when gunshots go off, so like lights flash in the theater. Like sometimes on the exterior shots of the plane when the seats are moving, wind is blowing on you.
That's kind of cool.
The seats bounce around. Yeah, I mean it was fun. It was a great experience, but I think I would have had fun watching it in an AMC.
So what? How violent is the seat movement? It's not like a mechanical bull, I'm guessing, but is it like more than like one of those horsies outside of a supermarket that you put a quarter in?
Yes, substantially more. And like there were shots where like it pans around the plane and the seats move like kind of very subtly, but so you feel like you're spinning.
Huh. Okay, that's kind of cool.
And like there are points where the seats tip forward and they tip back. It was fun. It was not as violent as I expected it to be.
Wait, the movie or the seat movement?
The seat movement.
Did they make you wear a seatbelt?
No.
Okay.
There wasn't even one.
Were you in danger at any point of spilling your nachos all over yourself?
Well, yes, actually I was because the way Mark Rooster had been to 4D a few 4DX movies. So, usually they show the regular trailers and then a 4DX trailer and then the 4DX movie. But like as soon as the trailer started, they showed the 4DX trailer of Captain America: Brave New World. So I was not prepared for it. But that was the only time.
I might see if I can see. I wonder if it would be distracting though, because I've never done a 4D movie, so maybe I'll find one in LA to see Captain America.
Let's see,
because that's coming up soon. I hate that there's so many movies that I want to see that are coming out on Valentine's Day, and it's like, why the fuck did you do that to me? Like, I'm not going to be able to talk Carl into going to see Captain America on Valentine's Day.
The Regal LA Live on Olympic Boulevard.
Yeah, that's where John Cooper showed for the Culver City Film Festival.
They have a 4DX theater.
Interesting. Okay.
I mean, there's a ton of them in California.
I generally stick to AMC.
Does have it.
Just because I have the pass, and there's one really, really close to me. But on days where I can go without Carl and I have some extra planning, I'll go to the Alamo Draft House because they got really fucking good popcorn, and if I'm eating a meal there, they have really good food. But the building, because it's in downtown LA, and to park there, you have to go through this corkscrew, this like paved corkscrew to get up to the fourth and fifth floor where the parking is, and it feels like it goes on for 15 minutes. And everybody in the car feels like they're going to puke when it's over with. And I don't mind suffering through that for a better theater experience, but Carl is not fucking having it. But what about you, Jeff? What did you see?
I saw that movie Wolfman with Ruth from Ozark.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Did you see it yet?
No, I saw Mark Rooster saw it and did not care for it.
Oh. Oh, shit. Okay. I thought it was pretty good. I mean, I don't know. Like, I was into it from the beginning. Like, short and sweet premise. This guy from Oregon got out of his, really, I mean, he's kind of grown up in the sticks in the woods with his like survivalist father, but when he turned 18, bounced, went to New York to become a writer, started a family with Ruth from Ozark, and his father had died and he had to go, clean out his belongings, go back to the old farm. And there was always like a legend about the Wolfman in the Oregon wilderness that this guy was like brought up in, but he didn't really believe it and he bailed without ever experiencing this Wolfman phenomenon. Then his wife and his daughter met the Wolfman, and that's when the danger or the scariness he evolves, I guess, or takes off, I guess. But I thought it was pretty scary. I don't know, like I was into it the whole time, and it felt like a crisp, straightforward storyline. It was nice and simple for my dumbass. So, I don't know. I thought it was pretty good. I'd give it like a 3.5.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I think I liked it more than my brothers, but I feel like my brothers are like a tougher critics on scary movies since they see so many of them.
I mean, because it's usually the other way. Like I can't even remember the last movie you went and saw and it liked. And it's weird that Wolfman, which was like
not a Jeff Clark movie, you would think.
No, and it was also just got like skewered by critics and audiences.
Oh, so, really?
Yeah, it's weird that that's the one. I
didn't read any reviews on it. What's it on Rotten Tomatoes?
I don't know, but I pulled up the Letterboxd page for it, and it's at a 2.5.
Oh yeah, I see that. Now when you Google movies, or maybe it's just shown for Wolfman, it has the IMDb score, the Rotten Tomatoes, and the Letterboxd score. So Letterboxd is on the rise. Rotten Tomatoes has got a 53. IMDb gives it a 5.9 out of 10. Then Letterboxd is 2.5 out of 5. I don't know. I thought it was pretty good.
I mean, I am curious to check it out. I do like Wolfman stuff. Like the original Lon Chaney one was pretty fucking cool, especially with the limitations of special effects back then. I think my first ever experience with a Wolfman had to have been Monster Squad when I was a little kid, and I think that one looked really fucking cool. I mean, it was even cool when Michael Jackson turned into a wolf. But like, I don't know. I think that one also was not a hit with critics and stuff. But I liked the 2010 one.
Are you talking about Thriller?
Yeah, didn't he turn into a wolf man in that? I know he turned into a zombie too.
Yeah, I just have never heard it put like that. You're talking like I even liked when Michael Jackson turned into a wolf.
Because as it was coming,
the most famous song and music video ever, right? We're talking about Thriller, right?
As it was coming, as it was coming out of my mouth, I was like, I started losing confidence in the fact that actually happened. I was like, wait a second.
Thriller was pretty popular.
Thriller was a zombie thing. He didn't turn into a wolfman in that, did he? Did he turn into two things? How many monsters did he turn into in fucking Thriller?
Yeah, you know what? I guess I didn't. He probably was a zombie, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, no, wait. They're watching a movie, right? And doesn't Michael Jackson turns into a wolfman, and then it turns out he's on a date in a theater, and the girl wants to leave, so they go outside, and then everybody turns into zombies, and then he turns into a zombie?
Yeah. He
Man.
100% transforms into a werewolf in Thriller.
Man, Thriller
Yeah,
was
that's
fucking
the
weird.
Thriller dance where he's going like that. It's werewolf shit, I thought.
No, he was dancing like he was a zombie at that point.
Man,
I want to rewatch that. Thriller is a fucking cool piece of music video. I mean, what do you even call it? Because it's almost like a short film,
That's exactly, I mean,
and then it turns into a music video.
I don't know.
I got to rewatch
My
that.
grandmother used to put that on for us when we would visit as kids. The whole Thriller. She had that on VHS. She had, it's funny. She had Michael Jackson's Thriller. She'd put that on, and she'd put on the famous Bill Cosby stand up. And I think it was like in Ontario with the rotating like screen, different colored screen. She's like, she loved, she liked Michael Jackson and Bill Cosby. It's like, ah, damn.
Two people that would always have a pristine reputation.
Yeah, those takes aged poorly, huh?
I mean, when I was a little kid, my aunt and uncle, who I lived in the same house with, because they were basically like my older brother and sister, they had Thriller on like on Laserdisc. So every time that my grandparents were gone and they would throw a party, they would always like put that on the TV. But I can't even remember the last time I watched Thriller from start to finish.
it's been a minute for me.
I would pull that up on YouTube. I'm sure that's worth a rewatch.
It's 13 minutes and 41 seconds.
I thought it was 25 minutes. Huh?
Well, the official 4K video on YouTube on the Michael Jackson station is 13:41.
Dang.
And it includes a couple second long card at the beginning that says, "Due to my strong personal convictions, I wish to stress that this film in no way endorses a belief in the occult." Signed, Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I guess people had their pitchforks out even back then. Oh, think of the children.
Especially back then, probably, huh? I feel like it's less pitchforky now. Maybe not.
No, I think it might even be more pitchforky now. It's just about different things. Oh, well, yeah, I went to the theater as well. So we got 3 different movies this episode. I realized that it had been a minute since I had gone to see a movie, and Carl was like going out to do yoga, and I was like, man, I really haven't seen anything. She's like, just go to fucking movies while I'm teaching. So I pulled up what was showing at the theater near me, and this is kind of like in that dead space where not too much is coming out. So I went and saw the new Steven Soderbergh movie, which I had heard very, very little about, Presence. I don't know if you guys had heard about that.
No, I feel like there's a new Soderbergh movie coming out that I saw a trailer for at a recent movie I went and saw. Maybe it was Nosferatu, and it looked good, but I don't remember it being this movie.
So this one has Lucy Liu in it, and it's billed as a horror movie. And then just the quick like Google search I did on it said it's a POV horror movie. And that's about as much as like a haunted house movie done POV style, not the Pornhub way. But I was like, okay, what could this be? And I even like ran it by Carl because like, you know, the Ilya Naishuller, who was on MSPH years back, he directed Hardcore Henry, which was an action movie, all shot in POV, and it was all from the POV of one person. And then there's this British comedy sitcom that I used to watch on DVD back when I was roommates with Brandano called Peep Show. And the whole gimmick with that was every scene was through someone's perspective. So if like a couple people were having a conversation, the camera shot would switch to somebody's POV there. And if like 2 people are talking to each other, it just switches back and forth from them, which sounds like
That
it
was
would
a
be
really
distracting.
good show.
It is, yeah. And it actually went on for way more seasons than I thought it did. I think I watched the first 3 and thought it ended. but I think it ended up going for like 9 seasons. But really fucking funny show, and it sounds like it could be a distracting gimmick, but like I never even picked up on it until like a couple episodes in, where I was like, oh, that's why they call it Peep Show. It's always from someone's POV. So I feel like they kind of messed up by billing this as a horror movie because it wasn't really scary. It was more like a supernatural thriller. But the POV is all from a ghost that's haunting this house. So you like, it starts from like before anybody's even moved into the house. It's just like an empty house. And then this family moves in and there's some family drama, and the daughter is getting over the loss of one of her like best friend who died of an OD. And then this ghost presence is there, and there's tension between the family. And it's a short movie. It's like under 90 minutes. And I was kind of just like, all right, well, this is interesting. This is a different take, I suppose. But I really feel like getting people hyped up into a horror movie, and it's not like it tried to be scary and wasn't. It just wasn't a horror movie. It was way more of a thriller. But I guess it's hard to say, like, yeah, it's a POV from a ghost that's haunting a house, but it's not horror. Is an even weirder sell. But it was fine. I feel like the ending really saved it and did a lot of heavy lifting, but I don't think it's going to be. I don't know if the average person is gonna. It's like I don't think it's gonna land with everybody that sees it. I think a handful of people will be like, "All right, I appreciated what just happened there," but I think being that it's not all that scary and there's a lot of downtime and a lot of dialogue and exposition and stuff, that people going in for a horror movie or a splatterfest or something will be bored by it. But I don't know. I'd say it was like a 3-dicker. It was interesting. If you're like a horror movie junkie, it's worth checking out just to see something a little different and off the beaten path. Appreciated the tight runtime.
So that Soderbergh movie I was referring to, it comes out in the middle of March, March 14th. It's called Black Bag. Have you heard of this?
Yeah. It's Fassbender, right? And Kate Blanchett.
Yep. Where they're both spies and they think she's a mole and send Fassy Boy to kill her.
Yeah, dude.
That trailer,
like,
all I could think about was like, this is like if you mashed up Mr. and Mrs. Smith with The Killer.
Right. But I'm interested. Did you think it looked good?
Yeah. I'll check. I mean, I think Soderbergh kicks ass. Like, even his stuff that doesn't land 100%, he's still doing something interesting, which I appreciate.
Yeah, I think that's a fair comment. Actually, I'm with you. Like he tries new shit, and I gotta tip my cap to him on that.
Yeah, he's not just doing the same like rinse, wash, repeat. It's like I was telling Carl, because she's not that big of like a movie buff, and I'm like, it's interesting watching a director go from like the Ocean's movies to this like really like contained, small scale haunted house movie that's all done from the POV of the ghost. So like, you could be like, I don't fault the guy. Like, Carl and I watch a fuckload of his movies all the time, but have you ever seen Jason Statham play somebody that wasn't the same character?
No.
And
it'd probably bum me out if he did.
Yeah, right? So it's like, I appreciate that. Like, dude found a fucking angle that works for him, and I'm not sick of it, because I think, according to my Letterboxd stats, last year I watched 15 Jason Statham movies. So it clearly...
all the same. Pretty much just copy and paste.
Yeah. But then
that's how I feel about Steven Seagal movies. I mean, his first like 7 were just fucking bangers. He didn't have the longevity that Jason Statham has, but he has a higher peak, in my opinion.
I'd like to see Jason Statham play a Native American and go save the oil lands.
It's fucking impossible. That brick couldn't pull that off.
Yeah. Oh boy. Oh wait, we have to do the NFL pick them.
Man,
Kinda.
we have a whole week.
Oh, we do?
Yeah, the next game. I mean,
Well, I just did the intro, and I don't feel like doing that again. So,
all right. Well, I mean, there were only a couple of games to pick from, and everybody should know how those went. Kevin, like an asshole.
Kevin does not know how they went.
I think I do.
Like an asshole.
I saw
picked
enough of it.
the Commanders to win. Luckily, when it doesn't matter, Geoff picked the right team, but chose to go against the family in his bets this week and bet on the spread and took the Commanders and got his ass whooped.
I did. I should have went with my first instinct. My first instinct was the Eagles. I kind of overthought it. I still think Philly's defense is a little overrated, but I just didn't see Jalen Hurts playing as well as he did. And he killed
Geoff
so.
didn't think the Eagles were even going to win by 6 points, and they went on to win by 32.
Oh, good lord!
Yeah,
and I was
It was
with
close to that.
Jeff too, right? I picked the Click Commanders because I had to go against you, Shuddy.
You picked the Commanders, but I am the one who picked incorrectly, and the Bills did lose to the Queefs.
Mm. But
so
that still means it's a wash, and you are going to win the NFL pick them.
No, we could end up tied if you pick the Chiefs and they win.
Oh God, that means
I'm
if that
only
happens,
ahead
that means
by
we have
one
to.
game.
If that happens, that means we have to make out, right?
That's right. You got to make out while I'm doing the Super Bowl shuffle.
And jacking off.
But when it matters the least, Geoff with the perfect 2-0 record.
You've just been Jeff. Fucking pussy.
Geoff, we can't hear you
you're
for some
muted.
reason at all.
Can you hear?
We can.
What the hell is going on?
All right, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
Don't touch anything.
Next week, I will talk about some of my favorite props on the podcast.
Nice.
On this podcast, I'll try to keep them fun props that won't lose your interest, Kevin. Stuff like how long the national anthem will go, Kendrick's first song, color of the Gatorade, how many times they'll show Taylor Swift, stuff like that.
That's my kind of gambling.
So I almost won comparatively to what I wagered yesterday, I almost won a buttload of money. And the only thing that kept that from happening was Jalen Hurts only threw one touchdown pass.
My buddy, what was so you bet him to throw 1.5 touchdowns?
So the prop was Saquon over 130 rushing yards, Jalen over 200 passing yards, AJ Brown over 70 receiving yards, Jalen Hurts over 1.5 touchdowns. And it was plus 900.
Nice, dude.
And all that missed was Jalen only threw one touchdown pass. But I still managed to win $92 on $50. So I'm up $92. Almost doubled my money.
Yeah,
or tripled my money.
I had like a 15-1 same game parlay yesterday in the Bills game. I completely whiffed on the Eagles Commanders game, but what can you do, you know?
Mark texted me that his response, he said, I actually made a few dollars yesterday on account of that Saquon guy running so much.
Nice. One of my buddies, a guy he works with, gave out a 532 to 1 bet that hit. He parlayed a rushing touchdown to be scored in all 8 quarters of both football games, and that got paid out 532 to 1.
How much did he bet?
Wow.
What's up?
How much did he put down on it?
I'm not sure how much his buddy put down. I have to ask him that. I mean, I don't know. I think he probably came up at least $5,000.
Man.
I mean, if you bet $10 on that, that's 5,300, and this guy bets a lot more than that usually. But I mean, it is like a random. It's a 532 to 1 shot, so you don't expect to win it. So I wouldn't anticipate him putting much more than $50 on it. But if you did, like, what's that? Like 26,000 on $50.
Jeez.
Pretty fucking sick.
Jeez.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah.
I would be sweating. Like even far-fetched bets like that, if I was a bookie, be like, wait a second, like, is it really worth just taking a risk to get $10 from someone and to risk having to pay out over $5,000?
It wasn't a bookie. He made the bet through. It was my buddy. He's based in Illinois. I think his friend is based in a legal betting state. So it was like one of these. It was like FanDuel or DraftKings. Like the guy I beat out of money or beats me out of money, which is happening a lot more frequently. I saw him last week, right? He's a local guy. You don't see the fucking CEO of DraftKings or FanDuel at the bar.
All right.
Speaking of which, last week was my annual national championship party that I go to, and they relocated it this year from this Legends, which is a famous sports bar in Long Beach we've talked about a bunch of times, to this other bar in like Los Alamitos, and it fucking sucked. I was very disappointed. And I think the bookie knows it sucked, and I'm assuming he's going to go back to Legends this next year. But none of my like friends who usually go showed up.
Why? At a protest? Because
not technically protest. It's just like Legends was more convenient to all like the people that I know that usually go because they already they work closer to it. That's like a client of theirs. So when they relocated, none of them decided to go because it wasn't at Legends anymore.
Wow.
But yeah, they put us in like the banquet room of this bar, and it had like these old arcade games. It had a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle arcade game. I told you about this, Kevin.
Yeah.
But the joysticks were broken. I was like, oh, fucking sweet.
I would be like, if the joysticks are broken, why didn't you get this thing the fuck out of here so I didn't get my hopes up?
I know, man. Give me blue balls. I think they had like a Galaga machine too. They had a couple cool arcade machines, but
were they all broken?
I don't even know. I just went to the Teenage Ninja Turtle one. Well, I actually went to get a drink. Cheech went to it, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go grab a beer. Let's play some Teenage Ninja Turtles because this game is fucking kind of whack." And I came back, and he's like, "Yeah, the joysticks are broken. Like you can't even play." It's like, "Oh man," so fucking sucked. Very disappointed.
I mean, outside of it not being at the bar that you like and a broken Ninja Turtles arcade game, what else about it sucked? Like, did the food suck? Because I know that your bookie foots the bill for everything, so you can just get what you want.
Yeah.
Get wasted for free.
Yeah. I mean, we had wings, chicken tenders, and sliders. I mean, they were fine, right? You can't mess that shit up, but I don't know. Like the bar, like just everything about it was worse. Like the food wasn't as good, even though it's simple food that you can't mess up. The service wasn't as good, even though the server was nice. She was a nice chick. Just, you couldn't go to Sweet Jill's, the bakery, right after. Like, it's not on 2nd Street. It's not in a cool area. It's just, like, we only had one TV in the banquet room, whereas in Legends, like, there's a TV every direction you look. And so we can only watch one sport at a time, and I have more bets on other games that we're not even watching.
So it would have been
So-
better to do it at your place because you have like 3 TVs on the wall.
Oh, yeah. Had I known, I actually I kind of wanted to ditch it last second, but I was like, fuck it. I pretty much paid for it already. I'm going to go. So I decided to go forward with it. But had I known how disappointed I was going to be, I just would have stayed for sure. It would have been much better.
Yeah. Well, that sucks. At least you got some free drinks and food out of it.
It's like-
I think your bookie is censoring your internet.
My bad. My bookie fucking left halfway through the third quarter because he knew it sucked. He was like, "All right, I'm leaving. Have fun, guys." It's like, "Oh,
Really?
sweet."
He's just like, I'll pick up the tab later.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Just be like, oh, I'll get 2 bottles of Lagavulin.
I ended up going home too and watching the end of the game in my apartment. That's how lame it was. Yeah, I mean, we talk about it every year. I'm usually fucking wasted. Like I usually get tanked at this party, and this year just had no juice. It was a bummer.
Well, hopefully next year he brings it back to Legends.
For real, dude.
So
If not, you need to find a new bookie.
So do we have to? We now like the only pick them is the Super Bowl, right?
Correct.
I did see because I guess these were the only 2 football games played this past week. I did see a lot of people talking about it on social media and stuff, and some people felt that like which team got shafted? They felt like the refs was helping one team.
Yeah.
This week it was that they were helping the Eagles.
Oh no! It was the Chiefs.
Oh,
You guys
I mean,
won by 30.
the Redskins fans, the Commanders fans, Twitter has been going nuts about the penalties being called that they didn't think were.
Why
But maybe in your algorithms, but it's hard to complain that a team got screwed when they lose by 30. That they weren't close.
So wait, okay, so that means that
Someone
our homie T-Bone
wrote an article that said the title of it was "Is the NFL rigging football for the Chiefs and Taylor Swift?" It was mostly to get Taylor Swift in the headline for SEO purposes, but yeah, that's where we're at right now in football, and that's all we're going to hear for the next couple weeks. Is the Super Bowl going to be rigged? Are they going to rig it for Taylor Swift and the Chiefs? It's fucking stupid.
Well, I wonder what our friend T-Bone has to say.
Oh, he thinks it's rigged.
But does
For
he believe that
sure.
it's rigged for Taylor Swift purposes?
I mean, well, so one of my homies, Galoopy, one of my best friends, is a big Bills fan. I like the Bills. I feel bad for them. I feel bad for T-Bone, but they just, as I was saying before to my friend, like Josh Allen needed to play 105th percentile game. Like he needed to play a little bit better than he usually does for them to win, and he didn't. He played a little worse, and they lost by 3. It was really kind of that simple.
Shuddy, how much tingling does this do for your penis now that your Eagles are in the Super Bowl? Like you must
mild tingling because they're playing the Chiefs. And as we said, it seems that things are being favored towards the Chiefs. And the Eagles lost to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. So,
oh no, who did
it's not a foregone conclusion.
Did the Queefs win the Super Bowl last year?
They did. This would be a three-peat.
Oh shit!
Be the first NFL team to ever win 3 straight Super Bowls.
Damn. Time to bust out that Kelchie mix cereal, huh?
Yeah, it's so the Eagles have a chance to break up another dynasty.
Man, I want that fucking cereal now.
That's a good point, though. Do you think Jason Kelsey's rooting for the Eagles, right? He has to.
Privately. Publicly, I think he's going to be... I think publicly he's going to be neutral. But I think
Did he
he'll be
played
at
on
the
the
game
Eagles?
wearing a Chiefs jersey for his brother.
Because he played on the Eagles?
He played on the Eagles, yes.
Yeah, he's probably going to be a Hall of Famer as an Eagle. He played for the Eagles his whole career.
I mean, okay, yeah, well, being somebody who doesn't understand sports, I feel like if I'm not on the team anymore, I would be like, well, I want my brother to win then. But probably not. Feel like team supersedes family.
I actually like it's a toss up. It could really go either way. I think he would go with his team. I think he'd be rooting for the Eagles.
If you and Bill were in their position and you were retired, would you be rooting for Bill? And if you were not, would you tell him?
I wouldn't tell him. I honestly can't. Like, this is like, it's so hard to put myself in those shoes. Like, I mean, his jersey is going to be retired in the Eagles Ring of Honor. He's probably going to go to the Hall of Fame, and the Eagles have paid him tens of millions of dollars. Like, you're gonna be pretty loyal, right? You're gonna be pretty loyal to that, I think. I don't know. But it is his brother, but his brother has 3 Super Bowls. It's not like he needs one. I don't know.
The exact quote from Jason Kelsey is, "I will root for the Eagles, of course, because I will always be an Eagle first and foremost. I will root for Travis to have a good game because he's my brother, but I will definitely be cheering on the Eagles in this scenario."
Oh, shit.
So,
no matter
personal
what.
accolades for Travis, victory for the Birds.
All right, so Shuddy, I'm guessing you are picking the Eagles.
Fuck yes.
All right, I was kind of a coin toss on that one. Geoff, what I mean, there's really no horse in this race for you because you have lost the MSPH NFL Pick Them and will now have to do the Super Bowel Shuffle on Instagram. So follow us at MSPH Podcast because you will be seeing that video eventually. But
Now that you get all that out of the way,
just for shits and giggles, who are you going to pick?
go with the Chiefs. My apologies, Shuddy. It has nothing to do with you. It's not picking against the family. It's football analysis, which has been poor this year. So,
and I have to, just to tie Shuddy, pick the Queefs. So, Shuddy Boy, you will either beat me by 2 or tie me. How does that make you feel?
well, how do you tie break it?
We don't need to tie break it because the only thing we didn't want to be was last place. I'm okay. I'm that medal winner that's okay with sharing the gold.
But as far as like a lifelong sports fan getting beaten by a wiener or tying a wiener, excuse me. Does that hold any weight or no?
It doesn't, because it was a 50-50, and on any given Sunday, any team can win.
All right, then.
Yeah, it would be more interesting actually if we each played 5 games and just those 5s, and we had top or you were given team really, and you.
Well said, Geoff. Well said.
Didn't get a lick of that at all, Geoff. After you said if we all picked 5 games, that was all that we heard. So I'm assuming 5 different games, right? You think we should pick different games and then go from there?
It was just loser talk. I should have been fucking cut out by the internet. Whatever.
Well, Shuddy, it looks like we've already gone long on this episode. I know you had a game prepared. Is that time sensitive, or can we play it next week?
No, I mean, listen, it was just Oscar nominees, so we've got time. We can.
Oh, okay, cool.
We can recycle that. It was a letterbox D game. Geoff, what are you worried about? You're winning 36-17 on the overall.
On what? I think I'm worried that I'm going to go from the MSPH Super Bowl shuffle to an Oscar punishment. Second
No,
of month.
no,
That's what I'm worried
no.
about.
We're talking. No, this was Letterbox D game.
No, I know.
Oh.
Now that you mentioned that the Oscar nominations are out, now I'm fucking terrified about that game.
Yeah, we haven't even picked that punishment yet.
Jesus Christ.
All right, well, something to look forward to next week.
No, I can't wait.
But if you guys cannot wait until next week and you need another MSPH fix, or even if you don't and you just want to support the homies, go to patreon.com/Mad Scientist Party Hour. Sign up. There are 2 tiers available. Obviously, the $10 tier will get you more content, but we are cranking it out. I believe we are firing on all cylinders and giving you some real quality shit to listen to. So please, support these hardworking friends of yours and sign up at patreon.com/Mad Scientist Party Hour. If you need some in-depth NFL analysis or stuff with prop bets, or who knows what happens when football ends? Is it high school curling? Jeff Clark has your fix with Outkick Bets. Featuring Outkick Bets with Jeff Clark.
Yeah. It's just, I have guests on weekly, but I am the host of it. Outkick Bets with Jeff Clark, doing AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am picks for golf this week, the second signature event of the PGA Tour season. I'm going to have a fellow Jeff with a G on, our neighbor to the north from Canada. Jeff Feinberg is going to join me this week to give out our golf picks for the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. So excited for that. I'll do at least one Super Bowl podcast next week. And then from there on out, it'll be golf and some basketball.
There you go. Check it out. If you want to get yourself one of these beautiful Second Coming of John Cooper posters that you can see behind myself and Shuddy Boy, I'll even plop the old Slappy Hancock on it for you. Just go to etsy.com/shop/John Cooper movie, and it's got the hookup. It's got what you need. You can also follow us on Instagram. I'm at Kevin Kraft. At Shuddy Boy.
At Shuddy Boy.
At Jeffro Records.
And at MSPH Podcast, which is where you can see when Jeff eventually does the Super Bowl shuffle. At John Cooper Movie. And youtube.com/Mad Scientist Party Hour. Check it out. Like, share, subscribe, all that flibbity-flobbity crap. And I believe that's it, friends. So thanks for listening, but until next time, woo, something.